Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. The monsters have been slain.
By monsters, you mean humans.
Yes, those that would defile your territory.
From atop his warhorse, Mousifer commands the zombies to feast upon the flesh, but do not harm the bones.
And they feast. They shred the bodies, ripping every last bit of flesh from them, gouging out their eyes, gobbling them up.
Gather the bones here, and I will ride around. Oh, I remember something I was going to do. But anyways, I'll do it now.
They suck the flesh off the toes one at a time.
And I do need to get the pigs as well, because we have 2 warriors. Oh, then there's 2 pigs. Perfect.
Well, you have... These are all warriors that died here today.
Oh.
2 of them are leveled warriors, which will be useful later. Yes.
Well, I don't think I have enough pigs to raise all the warriors. I only have 2. But maybe we'll head into the village to take care of that. I can use my chickens to raise skeletons, though.
Yes.
Is any of my staff around, like looking around over as the carnage is settling out? Where's Lord Rosegrove and Tomas?
You see like a curtain being drawn after as you look to the house, like someone shuts a curtain that was looking from within.
Mm-hmm. All right, everything's fine.
Where is Theron?
If you recall last time, I sent Rosegrove to deliver a message, right?
Right,
or was it Tomas?
Right. Tomas has fled. Tomas. You sent
Tomas? Okay,
yes,
I sent Tomas to Lilith to tell Lilith to brew some tea for Theron, that soldiers were marching, and make sure Theron was didn't interfere, and she'll know what that meant.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know if you want to make some like a check, or if it's just a timing thing, whether Tomas can get to Lilith and Lilith can intercept Theron with a hot cup of tea, or before he comes marching up the road. So that was happening while the battle was happening.
Right.
So resolve that off screen.
I've resolved it. I know what's going on. So Lord Rosegrove is in the house. He would be the only servant left.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And what about who was the chicken?
Right, Carrie.
Carrie, yeah. Was she in the house, or was she missing, or she wasn't in the barn with the chickens, was she?
She wasn't. You didn't see her in the barn with the chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, well, I'm going to collect chickens for my skeletons. Am I able to recover all the scattered chickens, or have some of them run for freedom?
One chicken died. Why don't you roll me 1d6 for how many chickens have gotten lost?
All right. 5 chickens.
So you're down
lost.
to 14.
And
you can round up the others.
And let me look at my spreadsheet. We started with 8 skeletons. We're down to 1, so we're gonna round up the chickens. We'll sacrifice 7 of them to raise back the skeletons that died. So I set up a big ritual circle amongst the bodies out front of the lawn. I don't know what I need to make. Maybe I just do it from horseback. I like trot around in a big circle, like stamping out a ritual circle. I'm just out here, right? Oops, I accidentally deleted my character, I think, but that's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's always fine. Did you need a new Mousifer?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh. I want a new Mousifer. He's gone forever.
Didn't I give you a new Mousifer? No?
Yeah, I already erased him.
Okay. All
I
right.
didn't mean to. That was also an accident.
Well, you've run out of
Trying to draw
Malsiphers.
my ritual circle and it's just not working out very well.
So.
There we go. And in there I pile the dried bones of my 7 skeletons get gathered, sacrifice the chickens, I round up the rest and eventually get them back into the barn. So this is probably 10 minutes of ritualizing and chicken chasing later.
So just as the sun is setting in the horizon is when this ritual is going off.
Yeah, and let me know if there are lights
arriving
from the town, villagers with pitchforks or that sort of thing.
As of yet, there has been no notice from what's going on in the village.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you are aware that at least 9 soldiers got away, or exactly 9 soldiers.
9, that's a lot.
Yes. Their leaders are gone.
Yep. I will order my zombies to patrol the hedges and flay the flesh from the bones of any unmarked trespassers that pass. So how many zombies do I have left? It's like
6.
6.
Yeah, you only lost 2. It's pretty good.
Lost 2. So I'm updating my spreadsheet. Wait, I have 12 zombies written on my...
Oh, you must have
so
lost.
Did I lose 6 or did...
I just can't count. You have 9 left.
9 left, okay.
Yeah. I
lost 3.
Thought a group of zombies was a group of something else's.
All right, so those 9 zombies will be mindlessly patrolling the hedge line for at least the time being.
Excellent. I need to head to town to get more livestock for rituals. Do I take skeletons with me? Yeah, let's hope Theron is out of commission, and I will take the newly raised 8 skeletons with me. Gather the weapons that have fallen on the battlefield. I take these 8 skeletons, although they aren't warriors, they will be... let's just kill the 2 pigs that I have and raise 2 warriors, right? Is there anything else that goes with the warrior? Let me check the... A lot of these commands, you're going to have to be overseeing the direct actions, because skeletons and zombies are super stupid.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll make a warrior first. Does the ritual take life or anything like that? I think it does, right? Skeleton warrior.
Yes.
Level 3.
You need
requirements 1 year of life, but it doesn't require HP. Correct.
Correct. You need a medium animal, so like a pig
or 2
a
pigs.
dog.
Yeah. So I will sacrifice 2 years and 2 pigs for 2 warriors. I guess this will be the leaders. I'm not a high enough level to make leveled warrior, but I can upgrade them through some other ritual with some bigger animals later.
Yes, we've said you can upgrade, right?
Yeah, I've done that before. So sacrificing these 2 pigs. And the horses, I assume, were stolen by the soldiers and when they fled?
No, I think they're still standing out there because they're war horses.
Yeah,
and the soldiers just
collect
scattered.
those and stable them.
Okay. You add 2 war horses, medium war horse 2 and 3 to your stable.
Cool. Can skeletons ride war horses?
Not your lowest level skeletons, but
my warrior skeletons can't they?
Let's see. Simple intelligence creatures can...
and operate bows, correct?
Skeletons can operate bows. I don't know. Maybe simple skeletons can, instead of basic skeletons, simple skeletons can operate animals? Definitely not living horses. A living horse would freak out.
Okay.
Maybe skeletal
maybe
horses.
It's a higher level skeleton that you would need to mount. Maybe I could put these on top of like mindless zombies that don't care.
Mm-hmm.
like put an archer on top of a zombie jaguar, for example. But that's a plan for another day. Mm-hmm. For now, these warrior skeletons cannot be mounted. So I'll just stable their horses and command the warrior skeletons to follow me at a distance for now. Don't harm anyone. And I will put them back in the warrior's armor. So they're basically the knights, but their flesh has been flayed. So this probably takes some time. What is half hour later? Flaying some flesh, demonic sacrifices to the winter gods to raise an army of the damned to win back our independence.
Mm-hmm. All right. Your 2 new skeleton warriors have been raised. You've re-raised your other dead skeletons, so they're all back.
Yeah, and I think we should probably zoom out to the either the Winter's Reach Village map or the world map, probably the village map, because Malsifer is going to head into town with the skeletons following some distance behind. So I'll be mounted. They'll be walking after me.
Just the skeletons, not the zombies?
Just the skeletons. The zombies are on patrol, remember, with the command to flay the flesh of anyone that trespasses again.
Right.
That's not marked.
Do you imagine entering town from the left side of the map?
That's what I did imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just want to have it properly doodled.
I think the hill kind of curves, right? Oops.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite so direct. I think you're coming up from below, and then you turn in.
Yeah.
And come out.
Yeah. But that is the entrance to town, I think, that I would be coming in on. And I come trotting into town. I mean, what do I see? Are the villagers out and about? Are there guards fleeing? Are there guards amongst them being like, "There's undead on the estate! Run for your lives!" What scene do I enter?
I want to say to estate here, but I also want to make sure that it's not implied that there's no other village that way as well.
I don't think there's another village. I'm guessing this path leads only to the estate and to the bluffs, right? That path curves up the hill to the.
Well, this is the middle of town, and although these are the big buildings, there should be more town than just.
True. Yeah. So maybe. So off the map, there's more. I mean, there's more woods. It's a quarter mile to the estate.
Right.
But I don't think you would leave town that way, I guess you could circle around 100 yards off.
Right. But there's probably more village people living out that direction. And
there would probably be a handful of other buildings along the path that way.
We'll just leave it as is for now. This is fine. So coming on into town, what do you see? There is a carriage. No, I don't think they could get a carriage here. There are some civilians mounted. Emissaries, you might call them. One of them looks familiar, like that woman that came by looking for the knight. The one that came through with the squire.
The soldiers didn't come
alone.
They were escorting an emissary. Okay. And their carriage is still here?
I don't think there's a carriage. She's got to be on horseback. I don't think you can get a carriage this far south through the Blumwood.
But some fancy riding horses stabled outside the tavern. I mean, there's really only hitching posts. There's not like a stables other than probably up at my estate.
Right. There are the guards. The 9 surviving guards are out here. The emissary is here along with the squire. You see the sheriff has been bound. His hands have been tied behind his back. His weapons and armor have been stripped. And he's being forced to sit on one of the logs in front of the fire. Most people are hiding inside buildings, but you can see faces pressed to windows or through windows, or shutters being flipped.
Is there any sign of Theron?
Yes. Theron is standing next to the bound knight, talking with the emissary when you and your skeletal warriors arrive.
And no sign of Lilith?
No sign of Lilith.
Theron's still in play, huh? Thank good. I think we're going to need to come in force. So seeing this, I will return to Winter's Reach to gather the rest of my hordes. So maybe if anyone's paying attention, looking up towards the estate, they will see a rider shrouded in black, coming in off the estate, looking at them ominously from the hill, and then turning around and riding back to the estate. And I'll probably return another 10 minutes later before I assemble zombies and skeletons and skeleton warriors to enter the town for, I guess, another battle.
There we go. That's fixed. So as you're at the estate, you're gathering all of your minions when you hear... where would you be in the estate gathering your minions? You just gathering them from the hedgerows? Do you have to go
the
inside
zombies
the building?
are patrolling the hedges, so I will shout out zombies, and then there were the skeletons as well. Yeah.
Right. So you are you're sitting on your horse, commanding your zombies and skeletons to gather around you when you see a lone light shining and kind of bobbing up the path quite quickly. Someone is moving fast towards you on foot.
Right. All right. I say you assemble. If they aren't marked, attack. And so I turn to get a better look and see who this is. I'll probably get a view of them if they're illuminated by lamplight before they can clearly identify what's going on up here. But whose face is it?
It's Theron's.
And I think poor dumb Theron, oh gosh, he can turn undead, can't he? I'm trying to think if I will interrupt to stop. Because the commands I've just issued, he's about to get ambushed by a bunch of zombies, and he can turn undead.
He's plodding towards you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Back, I shout. Yeah, so come back to me. I pull back the guys from the hedge, and I assemble. Yeah.
All right.
Out behind the house, right? So I send the undead away, and I'll treat Theron alone. But yeah,
Theron arrives.
Yeah, let me check. Hold on.
Breathing heavily. My Lord Malcifer.
Yeah, so I am mounted. I've ridden to meet him, out in the yard. I guess we can go back to. We've got the map if it even matters, but somewhere between the house and the hedgerow, amongst the carnage, I'm looking down at him. What are you doing here, Theron?
There are soldiers in town saying the most ridiculous things. I told them I would talk sense into you, or into them. What is happening? By the gods, this is unlawful, one way or the other.
Indeed. Pinehurst has committed an act of war, marching on sovereign winter lands. You would probably do best to not involve yourself in our politic.
They spoke of zombies and skeletons and undead commanded by you. Even you trying to raise skeletons and throwing blood about the battlefield and trying to command monsters? Tell me it isn't true, Malcifer.
These horror stories, they sound like the horror stories of cravens driven mad in battle.
I saw the wounds.
Of course.
I saw soldiers not returning. What happened to them?
Begone, Theron. This is not your conflict.
Ooh, give me a charisma check.
Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to check my equipment list, which I guess is empty. Did I have leather T8? I thought I had ranged weapons, but I'm not seeing any noted any. Oh wait, maybe it's on my character sheet. 2 crossbows. No, skeletons can't operate crossbows, correct? Can skeleton warriors operate crossbows?
Skeletons can operate crossbows and bows.
Regular skeletons can. Okay, yes. So there would be 2 archers amongst whatever this assembled on the other side of the house.
Yes.
All right, I'm rolling a charisma check to see if I can convince Theron that this is not his fight and he should probably stick his nose elsewhere. All right, my charisma is 13.
It's regular skeletons that you have bows, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
No. Oh, natural 6. I don't...
No, you won't. That's definitely not going to convince him. Theron stamps his feet on the ground, plants himself, and says, "By the gods, Mousifer, what's happened to you? I thought we were sworn to uphold... We've destroyed zombies and necromancers together."
We both made our oaths, Theron. Now, I'm going to have to politely rescind my invitation for you upon these lands.
He begins to back away from you.
This is not your fight.
He shakes his head as he slowly backs down the path towards town.
I'm giving you this one chance to leave, I shout down the path to him.
He turns and bolts and flees.
I can only spare your life but once, Theron. All right. That dummy's probably going to go back and join the soldiers, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see.
9 soldiers. Right? There's only 9? Yeah, we're just assembling our undead, and we're gonna go into town, and it's gonna be bad. Because I got 9 zombies, I got my skellies back, and I got 2 warrior skeletons now. Oh, and Janet and little Jimmy are just in town, waiting, to rejoin or to get to join the fight. All right. So it'll be a little while. I'll give Theron the 5 minutes or whatever to, if he thinks better of it, to gather his things and leave town, but he's probably not. And I would like to off-road it and like enter town from the south, right? So I'll probably cut through someone's backyard or the woods to circle around and like ambush from the other side. Or I don't know, where did I see them assembled? You want to draw them?
They were assembled in the town square around the sheriff's station.
Around the sheriff's station. So maybe I cut north and come back from like behind the churchyard. Maybe up and over the graveyard seems fitting enough, and like come charging into town from there.
You come charging into town to find them gone. They pulled out in the time that you gave them to Theron to leave. The soldiers, Theron, and the emissary and the squire all gone.
Have they taken the sheriff with them? Are there any prisoners? Is like what's going on in town square?
They have taken the sheriff with them. The rest of the townsfolk have come out and are looking around and are chatting in the court area here. Big Jimmy approaches you.
Yeah, so I come riding into town. If Theron is left, I think my undead will be coming in with me.
Okay.
I've commanded them all, like, don't attack. When I see that Theron and the emissary have fled, I'll command don't attack anyone. Actually, like, stay back here. So, like, there will be skeletons and zombies in, like, the graveyard. And Mousifer will come galloping in. Warrior skeletons following behind. Doesn't really matter. But I don't need to hide my undead army from the townsfolk at this point. So I come riding into town, and you say the villagers assemble.
Yeah, they are assembling. They're gathering. They're chatting. Big Jimmy comes to you, cap in hand, and says, "My lord, they bust in. They took my son."
They took little Jimmy.
He nods.
Oh, the fools.
They bound him with ropes. He tried to bite them, and they dragged him off.
I addressed the people of Winter's Reach. The false lord in Pinehurst has declared war on us today. Mousifer issues from atop his horse.
There's a low rumble through the people of, "What? That's unacceptable. We are free."
We are free. I think I need to draft like a Declaration of Independence here. Nail it to the church door. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That we are
That
endowed
all
by...
zombies are created by Malsifer.
we are endowed by our Lord with certain inalienable rights.
Mm-hmm.
That among these are life, liberty, and property.
And the pursuit of undead.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we'll maybe I deliver a compelling speech, but I certainly will pen this letter and nail it to the church door. I do need to tell the people. I gesture to the graveyard. You see, usurpers have trespassed on our ancestral lands, and the gods of winter have raised the very earth itself, our dead, to drive off these trespassers.
There's a lot of sort of head nodding.
Yeah. Those of you of the old blood would must now swear must now bear a mark for your own sake. And I think I want to set it up now to brand the whole village. The brand is up at the estate, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is Lord Rosegrove here? Oh no, it's Tomas. Is Tomas here?
Yes, you see him and Lilith arriving. Or in the crowd.
Tomas, fetch the marker.
You see him visibly wince, but nod and hurry off to the estate. And
I think maybe now is when the less loyal of the villagers run for their lives. I don't know if you want to roll some sort of morale check to see how many of my villagers desert.
Your backwater confederacy has very little place to go. Like, if they desert, the only other places would be to convert to the Pinespur side, to the Eridonian side of things, and they certainly can't abide that. And I think each and every one of your villagers is more willing to side with the undead and the zombies than to side with Eridon. I think they are willing to...
Each and every one of you is of noble blood. You are all of the old Gadian stock.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You are owed by your gods of winter your freedom, your liberty, your lives, and this land. And Tomas will eventually bring the brand. We'll heat it up in this fire here in the center of town.
Now, the Mark of Servitude
line 'em up.
takes a year of your life.
Oh, someone's gonna have to die. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Well, you gain 1 year for every 10 that you drain.
Oh.
So,
Oh, maybe a couple people are gonna have to die.
A bunch of... How many people do you have in Winter's Reach?
A
lot?
The current population is 247.
All right. So
We didn't take any prisoners. That was a mistake.
It sounds like you're gonna need some prisoners. It sounds like if you want to mark up your whole town, you're gonna need a lot of sacrifices. Perhaps, I don't know, how are you going to go about getting enough life essence? Spiritual essence.
I think we're gonna go a reaping. We're gonna gather up the undead army and we're gonna take them on a raid. So, yeah, why not? I didn't take any damage in that battle. I'm good to go. I'm trying to think whether to let the envoy and Theron go back to Pinespur. I think I might. I think I just don't care. Like, I gave him his chance to get out of this. I don't think we're going to chase down the emissaries' carriage in the woods and ambush them at night. I think they're free to go, but I'm going to take my zombies northwest towards Gator Beach and go on a little adventure. So I think for now, I will take volunteers. Who amongst you would be the first to take a knee, swear an oath, and bear a mark of servitude? I got... let's see here. I got about 55 years of life to throw around. Probably want to keep a few in the tank just in case. But I can take 30 volunteers. Seems like an awful lot. That's pretty good. So I think it still seems to serve the same effect if we line up the village and 30 people volunteer to take the mark, to get the mark of servitude. Right? That's probably a couple hours of branding.
Right. Well, the first person to volunteer is Jason the blacksmith. He's only got one arm, but he steps forward right away. Goes down on one knee, raises his one good arm, his right arm, his working arm, and reaches out for you, saying, "Lord Winter, I pledge my undying soul to you."
Oh, of course. So I got to get to level 7 before I can give him a necrograph. But if you live, Jason, you're totally getting a Zombo hand. All right.
Next, Edgar joins him, followed by Norman shortly thereafter. The lumberjack and the carpenter, they take knees. Soon.
Those are the two that came that very first night.
Yes. They've seen some shit. Yeah. Edgar looks at you very wary, like he seems sort of uncertain as he does this, but he says
work.
A similar oath.
I think they have to consent, otherwise the mark is not effective. It's just a brand. It's just a brand.
He is consenting, but you can see that Edgar is afraid of you. Like some of the Jason is absolutely loyal out of passion and fealty and like true and honest loyalty, but you can see Edgar is loyal out of fear and terror. Norman joins, Hannibal joins, even Bates, the tavern owner, joins in. That's your first batch of 5?
Oh, Bates. I don't have Bates on my list.
He's your tavern owner.
Yeah. Barkeep. All right. So there's 5. Do any of the unnamed villagers want to take a mark of servitude?
Many of them will.
All right. How many in all?
Where is... here we go. You will get... 28. No, I can't do math at all. I'm sorry. You get 29 volunteers in addition to these 5. So that is 34 volunteers total.
I already subtracted the first 5, so I'll do another 29.
Okay. It is a
76 minus 29.
The whole town
is my max age. This takes a lot out of me.
The whole town is here to witness this event. And over the course of it, as you drain your life, 34 years worth of it, you visually will change before their very eyes. What does it look like when you are draining your life? What's the visual changes?
I don't think 1 year makes a whole bunch, but over the course of the minutes, as like the years start to build up and drain, Malcifer's grays start to pop in amongst his hairs. His body withers, right? His eyes are now sunken. His cheeks sunken. I think he does this. This doesn't impose stat penalties, so it's not like it. It's not like I lose strength.
Right, it's your max age that's withering away. which is definitely having like a weird, it's your spiritual life, not your physical self. So it's messing with you somehow, and I'm not sure how to represent it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so you get a little bit gray, maybe some lines and wrinkles form on your face, but you're still as strong as you were before.
Yeah.
That.
Just more gaunt. Maybe akin to the unholy strength spell, right? Though my tissues have been drained of their life essence, they're still unnaturally strong despite my appearance.
Right.
Fortunately, no system shock rolls are required to be aged in this way.
Right. Thankfully, we're not doing any of that. Okay. And it's time to take your creatures on your trip.
Yeah, I should probably leave some protection. Maybe the zombies are too slow. Maybe I leave the zombies behind to patrol Winter's Reach. I don't want them eating anyone who's not marked. How do I prevent that? I think just those of you that haven't sworn a mark of servitude would stay inside tonight, right? Pretty much, right? Oh, I love it, right? The zombies, like, they won't patrol the hedges. I think now they're just going to patrol the woods outside of the boundaries of Winter's Reach, and the same command as before: consume the flesh and the bones of any that trespass here that aren't marked.
Right. So your villagers that aren't marked will hide inside for the night while you take your skeletons with you?
Skeletons and skeleton warriors.
And head to
and we will
Beach.
Head towards Gator Beach. One, I would like to figure out what happened to the 3 skeleton warriors I sent here before. And if I can, recover their bodies. And 2, we've got to replenish our ranks. I need to replenish my life force. So I think Malcifer's how he's justifying it, right, is this was an act of war by Pine Spur. So I am, in times of war, I don't need to. It's not a first strike. They already made the first strike. So I'm just marching north. Why don't we zoom out to the world map?
Yes, you need supplies. And if that means raiding nearby towns for them, well, that's just the cost of war.
And the idea here is I would only be attacking lands loyal to Pine Spur, but I think at this point it's pretty much me versus everyone.
Sure. Now, there are probably some other towns and villages before Gator Beach. Did you go to Gator Beach because it was for a specific reason, or just as like the closest town to get to?
Well, there are supplies up in Gator Beach, so that is an ultimate destination.
Okay.
I do want to know what happened to the warrior skeletons along the way, so I will head north, and I guess we'll see. I mean, you can throw villages in with those encounter checks or something. Like if I stumble across a village, I may ride in and see if they've seen signs of
excellent
spooky activity. And I would also, at this point, I don't know I guess I don't have heraldry, so I don't know if I would know which villages were which. I probably think that I have allies out there, but if no matter which village I march into, if I'm like, do you serve the winter gods? They're all going to say no, and they're all going to be be sacrifices to the army of the damned.
On the way to Gator Beach, you're just heading through the woods when you spot some lights not too far away. And
how far into the night is this?
It's maybe 10 miles out of town, so you're near the edge of the woods. You might not be exactly perfectly beelining or whatever, but you're near the edge, and you see some lights, maybe 100 feet off or so in the woods.
All right, wait out here. I command my skeletons.
They all come to a complete stop exactly where they're standing.
And I ride my horse into the village.
It's a small collection of houses. This must be some sort of camp, actually, like a semi-permanent camp on the outskirts of a village. You can see there's lights on in all 3 of the buildings, and through one set of open windows you can hear the jolly sounds of hunters and trappers whiling the night away, drinking and swapping stories.
I dismount. Am I familiar with this logging camp? Is that what it is? A logging?
It's like a trapping camp.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Are there furs strung up outside?
Not tonight,
Here.
but you can see spots where they would be. Like there's stretchers or scaffolds. What do you call it where you stretch furs over? Whatever they are. You can see the...
Stretch furs over anything.
Yeah. You
Fur
see the scaffolding
lines,
for this.
Scaffolds, sure.
But you see no furs on them presently. All
And
three
these are-
buildings have lights
These are
coming
not
from them.
3 buildings, all through with lights.
Small, though.
I think I dismount and walk amongst the buildings, peering in through through open windows if they are available.
Yeah. There's the first open window you look through, you can see 4 of these trappers hanging around a table, chatting. There's a couple of furs being hung from the ceiling inside, and then like a nice stack of ready to go furs on a table as well.
Mm-hmm.
On another table, they've got cards out, some coins on the table, passing it around, playing games.
Are the other ones do have lights as well?
They do, but they don't
I
have
go in
open
here?
windows. All the shutters are closed.
Okay. I will enter their cabin. You said these are outside of these are not my men. This is some other.
Yeah.
And I'm totally unfamiliar with this trapping camp.
You've probably passed by here a few times. You've seen people in and out of it. It's in property of the village, just inside of the plain a little bit.
Okay.
They're mostly
Right.
farmers.
Uninvited because this appears to be a semi-public building, right? There are men gathered drinking late into the night, gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I push the door open. A gust of breeze ruffles my robe, and a towering Malcifer stands in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
You said there's 4 trappers, whatever, in this room?
Yep. They see you. They stop.
Good night, gentlemen, I say, as Malcifer says as he steps in.
They recognize the tone in your voice, the manner of your speech, your clothes. They see you for the noble that you are, and they get to their feet and sort of give you a bow. One of them says, "My lord, would you like to come in and play a hand?"
No, I'm afraid I'm just passing through. I am Malcifer Winter. I sort of step in and size up the room. I think I look around, checking for exits, securing myself, right, making sure that there's no one hiding or, regular paranoid wartime type assessment, looking around.
There are a few weapons lying about, but none of them are within reach of any of the people. There's a knife on the table with a bunch of apples that looks like they've been carving. But other than that, the weapons are, far to the sides. You could even position yourself between them.
Yeah. I'm tracking some mercenaries that have been traveling through the area. Clad in black. Perhaps you've heard rumors.
Aye, we've heard rumors.
What can you tell me?
Black and blue, right?
I'll flip a coin over to hear their rumors. Silver piece will do for a warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
I flip a silver over to the guy that was talking first, then that nodded and said, "Aye." What have you heard? Clad in blue, he said? Okay. Black and blue.
Black
and blue.
with... black and blue. They walked by our village. Someone went out to see them, and we heard screams. We didn't dare follow, and then when Jaina didn't return, we went. Half an hour later, found her dead. Run through.
Peculiar. Jaina was one of your wives?
Not mine. One of the women in our village.
All right.
Who are they? Mercenaries with the blue lights.
Oh, they had violet lights for eyes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That is not for you to be concerned about. So there's 4 men here. There's probably a few. Who are these people? I don't have any way to know without asking them, right? They're like where
they look like hunters and trappers from the nearby village, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular civilians siding with the enemy.
All right. You've been most helpful, gentlemen. If you will excuse me, I'll be on my way, and I will step out and shut the door behind me. And
you can
hear
through the open window them saying, "Who was that guy? Creepy as fuck."
And I think I'm chaotic evil, so I think like they have like a minute to talk amongst themselves. Be like, "Oh my god, that was so creepy! Aren't you glad he's gone?" And then the door gets busted in, and skeletons come charging in. So Mouseford excuses himself, leaves, walks out in the woods, be like, "Come over here, kill them all."
And as you return, they're just getting back to their game.
Restrain them, keep them alive, right? And so they're like, yeah. So there's the
restrain them. Okay.
Not
I see what's happening. All right, the skeletons burst in. There's a scuffle. I don't really think we need to worry about it because you have so many skeletons and skeleton warriors, and they don't have any weapons.
It's about 10, but I think by surprise in a round, 10 skeletons can restrain and
subdue 4
men.
Yeah. Now the cries of those 4 men will alert the ones in the other huts.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll have a minute before they can do anything, really. So as your skeletons burst in, the hunters in this room start screaming and start pushing back.
What do I need to do to drain years of life?
Let's see.
That is called
Vampiric Touch.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice target to expend your lifespan. Gain 1 year for every 10 years left in the sacrifice's natural lifespan. Must be caster soul size or greater, so you need to sacrifice humans or better to do it.
Okay.
Yes. So.
All right. So yeah, my skeletons restrain them. Are you okay? So they don't put up a fight, but they alert the others who probably go running.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're going to let them just run freely, right? Chase them down.
Yeah. So they're shouting and yelling, and other doors will open. All the doors of these 3 buildings are all facing each other. Mm-hmm. And from your position, are you inside or outside right now?
I think I'm just outside the door. I'm just outside the main cabin. I sent the skeletons in, but they can only go in like 1 or 2 at a time. Right. So 10 skeletons will take the round to pour in, subdue some of them. Maybe me and the warriors are outside, and like the riffraff skeleton just went, ransacking in.
Well, these other guys pop out, and they see you standing in the light of the doorway. You can see that they've got mismatched weapons. Someone's pulled out of the table leg. Someone's got a bow that they normally use for hunting. Someone else has got a dagger.
How many in all are there?
4 have come out of one of the other buildings. The other building hasn't responded yet. And these 4 start to step towards you and yell, "Who are you? What's going on in there?"
Bring them down, and my skeleton warriors will unload their crossbows.
From the darkness?
Yeah, well, they're not total darkness, right? They turn, violet eyes locking on these men who have surely heard the rumors of the blue lit mercenaries or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. You've been hesitant to enter combat, but my skeletons open fire. I think 3 or 4 from inside will join the next round to
Sure. Why don't you open fire with your 2 warriors?
Yeah.
Is it the warriors who have the bows? I ask because the warriors can be raised in either a melee form or a bow form, like a specialty in one or the other. And we didn't touch on it before, so let's touch on it now. Would you want to raise these as melee warriors or ranged warriors?
Does it matter? These were knights, so in life they were swordsmen.
Right. In death, they can be either. It is your call.
I think it seems like they were probably raised as melee, but they have crossbows here at this moment.
Fine.
So they're going to take their just regular shots with these loaded crossbows and then probably go into melee.
Sure.
I also haven't budgeted bolts for them. So they probably have a bolt loaded each, and then they're going to be out of ammo, and they're going to go into melee range, which is their specialty.
Great. They will roll at +2 to hit. And I had them doing 1d4 damage with the bow, sort of like the same as improvised weapons. If a crossbow, I feel like, should probably do a little bit more damage.
Well, let's see how they hit. So one will hit. I don't see why a crossbow isn't a crossbow. That seems to me in 2-point Neal the advantage of the crossbow. Yeah, is it doesn't really confer. I mean, we haven't seen any crossbow specialists. I don't know what would happen if you tried, but so far it's been like a generalist weapon. Anyone can point and click.
I think so. It'll just do regular crossbow
damage. Is it D6 plus 1? That's what I always use, but you may have changed it. I think it's D6.
I think it's D6 plus 1. Yeah.
So with a light crossbow. Anyone can use it. No proficiency required, but it takes basically a proficient crossbowman or an engineer or something to like unjam it or fix it or repair it or whatever.
That's fine.
But one guy takes a bolt. Malcifer actually steps into the building with the restrained guys, and he's going to start taking souls.
Let me roll HP for this one trapper that you hit. He takes 3 of 5 HP.
Okay, so he just takes a bolt.
Yes. And those 4 trappers will
make a morale check.
Immediately break and run. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll just start to flee into the woods. Inside, though, what's going on?
Malcifer steps in. Men are restrained and screaming.
Get him off me!
Malcifer goes back to the one that he paid for the gossip just a few moments ago. Who is your lord?
He stares at you, terrified. Nana. Nana. Lady Nana's our lord, or lady.
Lady Nana what?
Nana's the last name. Lisa Nana.
Do I have any idea? I don't have any heraldry or anything. Can I roll to figure out?
No, you're a backwater town. You don't deal with these other traitors. Some nameless lord.
And who is your count?
I gotta figure out his name now.
That would be the wrong answer would be the Count in Pine Spur.
Right, and that's what they're saying. I just can't remember the guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
And you open up my Pine Spur documents. Baron Grayson.
Wait, he's a baron? He's not a count?
Right, he's not a count. Right, this is the one county. He should be a count, but that's sort of like the snubbing, is that they didn't even make him a count of his own county. They made him a baron of his own county. It's like, extra snubbing.
I think the fact that he said Baron Grayson when I said who's your count was the wrong answer. So
It's definitely the wrong answer.
Yeah, wrong answer. I will take this guy. I don't even need to measure first. I'm just going to take all the years he's got. I think I undo the Bardish that I've got. So I've pulled it off my horse, but I haven't removed the cover yet. So I'm snap the buttons that cover the blade and put the little leather blade cover aside. Hold still. And I think I just chop off his head, and because it's such a badass move, that's the whole ritual right there. And
that's how you do it?
Just take his souls.
How do you take his souls when you chop off his head? Do you then drink his blood, or does the soul energy move from one creature to the other at the act of contact, at the beheading?
I think different necromancers may have different rituals, different ways of doing it. Some might plunge a kriss through the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Some might drink the blood. Some might, make leather out of his flesh and wear it as a cool coat. I think in Malcifer's case, he just, I, Lord Winter, sentence you to death, and I chop off his head with my ancestral executioner's axe, and I just get his souls, right?
Yeah. You can, there's maybe a slight visual color in the area.
We talked about there being opposed willpower checks to resist being the victim of a forced ritual sacrifice, right? Like if you as an evil, if you had an NPC necromancer trying to sacrifice one of the PCs, I feel like you'd give him a check, right? You wouldn't just be like, he walks up to you and chops your head off and now you're his ritual sacrifice.
I mean, I'd make you make an attack roll or whatever, right? But once the character's dead, I think the life just gets drained. So I think the contest comes in the slaying.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So I make a D2 plus or D20 plus 4 because he is held.
Because he's held, yeah.
16 should hit. I do
definitely hit. Oh god.
Only a max damage thing. So that's a decapitation right there. So
yeah.
Dunk, and my axe goes all the way through his neck, thuds into the floor. Is there a visual? I've never used this before. Is there a physical soul that leaves his body?
There is. Yeah.
There's like
I guess there's probably like a shimmer of light or some coloration to the existing light there that kind of moves through your bardish, up it and into your arms, and then your features start to like fade. Your wrinkles disappear, color returns to your hair slightly. You gain 10 years for every year left you gain 1 year for every 10 years left in his lifespan. Mm-hmm. So you gain 5 years of life.
All right, I'll add that to max, from 45 to 50. And yeah, the two skeleton warriors outside will produce melee weapons and at movement rate 14, attempt to chase down some of the fleeing trappers. Me and the rest of these skellies will hold it down. If me and 4 skeletons can manage the sacrifice, I'll send another 4 out chasing.
Okay. And when you send these skeletons, what's your order to them? Because again, the skeletons are stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, I point to the door and I'm like, go chase down the people that are fleeing.
Right. So it's just like go and attack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think I probably am not in the heat of battle. I think it's just like go and attack. Right. The smarter thing would be like restrain them, save them for later. But I'll pick up pieces. I think I'm like, go. If you can subdue them, you can. Hopefully I'll catch you before you've killed them, but we'll see.
Right. Okay. The skeletons go. The 3 remaining guys, there's 3 of them and 4 skeletons.
They should probably, if you want to do like opposed strength checks.
I think so. It's 2 of them have 1 skeleton each. One of them has 2 skeletons, right?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay, so give me 1 opposed strength check for a skeleton against this random trapper.
Do you think just 10 strength is a good standard skeleton strength?
No, they have it's documented in that chart.
Okay.
I think they have 13 strength. Yes. Cool. Right. So the first guard trapper makes an 11, or an 18, 32. Which is no good. Second one makes a 27.
So one of them breaks free.
Mm-hmm. And then the third one gets a 13, and that's against 2 skeletons. I'm sorry, not 13, a 23.
Oh, natural.
So
20.
one guy breaks free from the skeleton and like runs to leap out the window.
Mousefor would go to head him off of the bardish, which is pretty slow. Should we roll opposed initiative, or is he just not able to, or is he pretty much...
Bardish has got reach, and these aren't big buildings. You got to attack
Bardish does not have reach, I don't think.
Oh.
I think it's just a 2-handed D10 weapon.
Oh. Well,
But I think I'm standing right there amongst them.
I think you're close enough to the window.
We've been doing theater of the mind, but I think fleeing out a window provokes an opportunity attack to the necromancer or the bardish who's...
I think so, yes.
Smacking at you from the back.
Yep, go for it.
All right, D20 plus 2 for back attack is a natural 18.
He's got AC 10 at this point, so you double crit him.
So triple damage?
Yes.
That's bad. 17 damage. He may not actually survive that.
No, he's got 8 HP. He's dead.
But he's not dead. No, he is...
he's at -9.
Oh. He's bleeding out. I smack him in the back, drag his bleeding corpse back in the room, and suck its soul out before the body has a chance to fail.
Give me a perception check while you do all of this. Because the other people are coming out of the other building, but they're not doing it quite so loudly.
Yeah, and perception is 13.
You're going to need a 20... Oh, yeah,
Nailed
you definitely
it.
get it.
Natural 18.
So as you're draining this guy's life, you can see through the crack in the window, or an edge of the window.
I think he broke the window. I'm imagining he was like crawling out, and I just like murdered him as he.
Right. So you see the door to the other building opening, light streaming out, and hunched figures low to the ground, heading towards your building. They seem to have weapons in hand.
I think they would intercept the 4 skeletons that just left this building, or did they miss each other in the night?
Ooh, good question. Why don't you give me a d20 plus 10 for your skeleton's perception to see if they notice these guys coming out of the building?
They don't.
The people also just barely missed the skeletons, so they passed each other.
So the skeletons are going to come in and ambush this horror scene rather than head off the skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not sure what's going on.
But I do, pull this, flip the dying man over, clutch his throat. Your soul is mine. I, Lord of Winter, sentence you to eternal servitude. Right? Is that what happens when I steal your soul? So I think even though he's like totally unconscious, I think I like stand over him and bring the executioner's axe down, severing his head.
And he dies.
And how many years do I gain?
Another 5 years.
All right. Next round, I will turn on these other 2 that are restrained, but I think their friends are ambushing, right? Or how do we want to resolve that?
Yeah. So you see them coming. Why don't you tell me what you do after you drain this guy's life?
There are, let's see, 2 guys are strained, me and 4 skeletons in here. Mm-hmm. So I like you 2, the skeletons that are free.
You let
to the door.
Okay. So one of the skeletons will let go of a guy and go to the door.
Either side of the door. I mean, attack. There's men coming. Attack them when they come in.
Okay.
And so 2 skeletons will jump on these guys as they enter. The other 2 will keep the.
So let's enter rounds.
Yeah. Initiative.
So yes, let's do initiative. Let me bring us to a map where I can get some better. No, this is fine. Clear all. So we're just gonna need Malcifer's initiative, and we're gonna need some randos initiative.
And skeletons? Or are we all just going?
Yeah. Okay, let's do skeletons too. Get everyone's initiative here. The skeletons are just holding though. Oh no, there are 2 attackers. There are 2 attackers.
If you're saying that they got there earlier, because they haven't really acted yet, maybe the skeletons just ready their attacks and attack as soon as the guys walk in. We'll see how many rounds this lasts.
Yes. Let me get some. Oh, perfect. These can be our workers. So we'll get 1, 2, and then we'll get another group of 4. To the new guys coming, there'll be different workers to keep them in track. 1, 2. Okay, excellent. So this guy's going at 3, 3. Well, you're all going at 3. Bulk roll macro. Okay.
So I think they should roll perception checks to see if they notice the skeletons as they're entering, or if they just come straight towards me in the center of the room, splattered with blood. Their executioner.
Yeah, the first guy in kicks open the door and leaps to you with the knife in hand.
All right,
ready to stab
attacks,
you.
probably a flank.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
19 is a hit. Not a crit, though. Right?
No, it doesn't clear by 10.
Yeah. 6 points of damage, though, probably kills him.
Probably. He's got D8 HP. He had 6. He goes down instantly.
Oh, perfect. Stable at 0. And the other one attacks the second guy that comes in.
Yeah, the second guy's right behind him, but he saw the skeleton strike out, so he screeches to a halt in the doorway, stopping the people behind him.
But I think the skeleton's ready to action goes off. Skeleton steps in front of him, makes a regular attack, missing. He can return fire at the skeleton.
This guy takes the table leg and smashes at the skeleton with a 19
bludgeoning
to hit.
Weapon. 19 is a crit. I think he just explodes. He does 4 times damage dice.
4d4 damage. shatters one of your skeletons into 1,000 pieces. The next guy coming up. What does he do? He's just stuck outside. Yeah, because the other guy.
The skeleton. Oh no, he's standing in the doorway.
Right, one guy's standing in the doorway. So the next guy
He could step in, a step closer to me, and free up the doorway for his friend.
I think he's going to go to the window to try and crawl in through the window, and that's when he sees like the full carnage of what's happening inside. He pauses and just gasps and yells, "Oh my god, what is this?" And that's when the workers are going to try and the first worker tries to make a strength check against one of the skeletons. He rolls a 22.
Ooh, he breaks free.
He will break free and go to the window and try and get out.
Finding his friend, blocking the window from the other side.
He'll squeeze with him. He'll crawl through the window. He'll do whatever he has to get out.
And the other one...
Malcifer goes first before the other guy gets a chance to resist.
Malcifer is going... I think Malcifer is heading off the door. Oh no, there's a skeleton blocking the door.
Yes. It's a small room.
Malcifer's stepping in the door to shut down the guy who's actually got a weapon. So I take a step forward, just a straight D20, I believe. 13, he's unarmored, correct?
Yes.
7 points of damage.
That brings him to 0.
Plunge the Bardish into the guy's collarbone.
Oh, God,
he collapses. Behind me, there are skeletons that get to go, right? I guess we can just do them.
They're holding, right?
Yeah.
So the last guy gets a strength check to break free of the skeleton. He rolls a 13 and fails, so don't even bother. All right. Next round.
So the two... how many have we killed? 2.
Right, there are 2 down.
Brought 2 to 0. There are 2 more sort of outside.
Yes.
I think I just shout attack, and my skeletons will just do basic attacks. So let's roll quick initiative for skellies. Should I roll all skellies at once, or should I roll my 4 separate skeletons?
Roll them separately.
3 separate skeletons. Okay.
Right. Roll them separately.
I think it would be more aesthetically pleasing to have like a planar battle map. We always wind up doing our like improvised battles on top of like the map of the land.
Right. One day. Okay, who goes first?
There's villagers outside, right?
It's the villager at the window who goes first. He sees this guy crawling out, steps out of the way to let him get out, and is then going to run, screaming into the night. The guy that comes out of the window after him also runs screaming into the night. And your first skeleton goes.
Who's even left?
There's one guy who was being restrained. I think the skeleton's probably letting go of him this round to kill him. And then there's one guy.
Okay, so they're making
one guy outside of the doorway who hasn't stepped in yet.
There's one guy inside. Who's getting back attacked by the skeleton he just escaped from, I think.
Probably at +4 because the skeleton's already holding on to him.
Well, he just broke the hold.
No, he didn't. Remember, he failed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Only a 10, but that'll still hit, right?
That will still hit.
I'm just going to take a D4 for
flesh.
claws.
That's how it
works. Rakes claws into him. I think there's another skeleton nearby that's also going to do the same. Or is this the one in the doorway? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
16.
5 HP, 16 will hit.
I think this guy would be, if he was standing around, he's probably armed with an improvised weapon.
The skeleton?
Oh, it doesn't even matter. It's 1 point of damage.
Okay. The guy survives. So both skeletons go. It is the guy who's just outside of the doorway. You've like hacked one person to bits and stood in the doorway, and this is the guy outside with a table.
Yeah, there's also a skeleton blocking or next to the doorway. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't. Yeah.
Okay. This guy sees you both, and he turns and bolts, running into the night as well. Your last skeleton gets to go before the guy inside.
That's the one by the doorway, and I think it chases him down.
Oh, God. The person can run, and the skeleton can only walk, so...
Oh, okay.
I don't think... He can chase, but he won't chase him down.
I think the skeleton starts to chase, steps out into, like, the camp, the square of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And it's futile. There's one sacrifice alive, 2 more stable on the ground.
The one remaining guy tries to flee, but it'll provoke opportunity attacks from 2 skeletons.
He was restrained, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the skeleton then attacked him, so I think the skeleton was holding him and then ripped him, and now he's running. Okay,
so opportunity attacks.
Yes, please.
Plus 2 for back attack. There's a miss. It's a miss.
Oh my God.
He runs past Mouse for 2 right out the front door.
Yep. Whether it's the door or the window, he's going to take 15. An attack. Oh God, he's at 2 HP. He goes down. There are 3 more bodies at your feet.
I look around, so there's just mayhem.
Yes.
Malcifer's addresses these dying men. Who is your lord? What? Nothing to say for yourselves? Then unfortunately I must sentence you to death. And so I just collect this. I reap the souls. I don't know if I can collect this one guy's before he bleeds out. Maybe I'll roll a d4. On a 4, he dies before I get to him.
Okay.
Otherwise, he's 2. So he's the second one. I think I get to him before he finishes dying. So that should be 4 more sacrifices.
You already drained the life of 2 of them, right?
2, yeah, but 1 more.
So you drained 2.
Okay. Drain
so there should be 2 more.
2 more. The skeleton and I both reduced 1 to 0. I think that's 3 more.
There were 4 in the original building. 2 of them got away, and there were 4 in the second building, and they fled. And then there were 4 in the third building, and 2 of them got away. So there should be 4 dead or captured total. Right?
And I count 5. I've sacrificed 2. What I'm thinking is both me and the skeleton brought a guy to 0.
Right.
And then there's the one that I just brought down to negative whatever.
Yeah, I must have missed something. So you should get 3 more bodies.
Yeah.
My math.
So a total of 5 were slain and sacrificed. And a total of maybe 7 ran for it. Do I get 5 years from each of those, or what?
I'm going to roll these guys' years. They roll at 2d20 plus 90 minus... I'm going to say these guys are all in their, 30s, so just minus 30 for simplicity's sake. So you will... And then divide this by 10. So you'll get 8.2 from one person, 6.8 from another, and 8.3 from another.
Are we taking fractionals? So those add up to
we'll take fractionals. Yeah.
15 plus 8. That'll bring me to 78 max years. I won't carry the fractions around because I know how much you hate that.
It's only ridiculous when it's 1/10 of a 100th of a point of experience when you have hundreds of thousands of experience.
Then 78.3 is my max age now.
Perfect. You're gonna want to carry
that feels pretty good. I think I go shouting out into the. I go outside. A few minutes later after this ritual, mount back up, and I gather my skeleton. I go trotting through the woods, shouting, "Assemble my warriors! Drag back your quarry!" I don't know if any of them will bring anyone back with them, or if they.
So your 2 skeletal warriors.
They were commanded to subdue, and now I'm shouting after them to come back and to bring their captives.
Right.
There were 4 regular skeletons, I think, that went running after them with more direct attack commands. But it's only been 3 or 4 rounds, so I think by now I'm gathering them back. I don't know if they actually got into any trouble.
Yeah.
Am I able to gather up all of my skeletons?
Your 2 skeleton warriors are going to have better navigation, so they're going to be better able to chase after these people. Your other skeletons are a little dumber. Let me make some dice rolls. See how many of you come out. Are gathered. Okay. So one of your regular skeletons does not return. Either it's out of vocal range or it's caught somewhere that it can't, it's maybe stuck in a bush or in a tree or got tangled, something. So one of your regular skeletons doesn't return, but both of your skeleton warriors and 3 of the others will.
All right, so I'm reduced to 7 regular skeletons.
Yeah.
And there is... on Google.
Okay. You have collected bodies. Well, you've collected life essences.
Yeah,
many of these people
the bodies
escaped.
I think are going to take more work.
Are you going to take these bodies back to your village?
We might be too far.
It's 5 of them, and you have many skeletons. They could carry these corpses. It takes 2 skeletons to carry a corpse, I think, with 13 strength. .13 strength, max press 140. Yeah, 2 skeletons can carry a body.
Cool.
You have 5 bodies and 7 skeletons?
Yeah.
7 and 2? Or 7 total? Ryan, is it 7 total or 7 and 2?
What is that math?
How many skeletons you have presently? Is it 7 regular and 2 warriors, or is it 7 total?
What you doing creeping on my spreadsheet? If you look below, the warriors have their own slot.
Okay.
So there's a second population of skeletons with the title warrior.
Got it.
There's 2 of them, and the 3 in parentheses refers to the 3 that are MIA somewhere in this area.
Got it. Okay, so with 9 skeletons, you can drag back 4 bodies and leave 1 behind.
I'm tempted to just go all the way to Gator Beach.
Do you not have enough life?
Never. And there was that old necromancer up there that I wouldn't mind recovering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need lieutenants for my army.
Mm-hmm.
And all those jaguar zombies.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we're gonna continue on the move. Let's see here.
Excellent.
What
Why
time
don't we
of day?
take a
Yeah, let's take a break.
We'll come back on the other side with more Dicing with Death. See you guys soon.